guys. It's been a while, but I do have interesting news to make up for that. And let's get started. As you know, this title is saying I might be thriving. And this happened so abruptly. Like, my mindset just changed all of a sudden. And I don't know, it's sort of crazy how this happened. But yeah, let's get started. First off, I quit my job. I quit my job in banking, and I'm going to make a couple of more videos about this. But basically, I just suddenly had this realization that, yeah, bro, like, I learned how to self-respect, and this is not what I should be tolerating in my workplace. You know, it's constantly draining, but not just draining, which is pretty common, but it was genuinely intimidating for me to be there every day. And I built this conviction that I can achieve great things myself. And this just came out of nowhere, but I just suddenly had this conviction that, like, I feel like I could do this. I feel like I could achieve great things myself, even though my workplace constantly tried to erase a sense of self and kind of like be more assimilated to the corporate culture. I thought, you know, this is enough. I feel like I could do much better. Next up is, I am practically not doing any of my tutoring jobs. So I think I mentioned this briefly, but even when I was working, like, from time to time, like during the weekends, I would do, like, you know, part-time tutoring or something like that, just for students, because some people asked for me. Really did not like it. I just did it for, like, you know, side income, something like that, because I've been doing it for so long. I've never really enjoyed, like, teaching, unfortunately. So it is kind of great that, like, the amount of tutoring time that I've been spending is definitely and gradually decreasing, just enough to, like, afford my monthly expense. I know that you guys might be thinking, like, oh my god, in this economy where the AI is taking over junior roles and the only way that you can survive is by keeping that junior role until you become the middle manager, which is harder to fire. And I know, but I also know that I myself have the high agency to do something great on my own, and that if I don't try this out right now, whilst I'm young, while I have no one to feed, while I have a great team that works with me, if I don't do it right now at this right timing, with my energy and my, you know, in my current age, just because out of this, like, AI fear, economy fear, I would never know what could have happened, and that's going to be, like, tormenting and, like, you know, full of regrets throughout my life. The next up is startup. I have new people who back me and support me, and this genuinely feels like a sign. This genuinely feels like a luck cycle is coming up for me. I've been talking to investors, I've been going to hackathons, I've been winning them. Yeah, I just realized that, like, when I push myself out there, and this includes, like, online as well, because I've got a great mentor from TikTok. I know this is crazy, but we call every day until, like, 2 a.m. just to discuss, just to brainstorm idea, which helps so much at this stage of my life, at this stage of this idea. Yeah, it's like, when you push yourself out there, going to hacks, going to London Tech Week, going to, like, this event, that event, like, good things that I could have never expected just come along. Yeah, I'm not just doing things, but kind of like scaling things intentionally. I bought a new iPhone. What was different from my university was that I wasn't scared of buying it just because it was a huge financial burden at the time. But now, like, buying a new iPhone feels like a self-investment because I'm gonna be spending lots of, like, time on my phone editing things. So that feels more like a personal investment, and I'm, like, no longer scared or stingy with, like, spending money on investing in myself. And quitting my job was also less scary, not because I have a little bit of, like, financial buffer, but because I started to have a way long-term vision. Like, to achieve it, I do need to self-invest. I do need to quit something that does not align or something that I cannot tolerate anymore. I realized that calling people every day till 2 a.m., building something on my own, brainstorming things with, like, where I get to have a complete responsibility and also ownership, are what make me feel alive right now. And I can say my attention is, like, purely out there. It's definitely going to have a very, you know, tough time where I'm gonna have, like, a lot of questioning, doubts, just because it doesn't have a roadmap, and, well, I'm the one who have to design the roadmap. No immediate outcomes with, like, high risk. It's definitely gonna give me some emotional roller coaster, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be doing it at all. And so do you, right? Third part is my relationship. I feel like this is the craziest part, because for the longest time of my life, I I was kind of like a person who had a very hard time moving on, just because I found like the past that I spent with my romantic partners like just so important, and like I was like still longing that person to be with me whatsoever, all these things. But for the first time, like I finally feel like I've moved on, in a sense that I decided to keep the memories as one of the chapters. You know, obviously this took a lot of thoughts, like replaying scenarios, rumination, grief, anger, but I no longer feel anything but just intermittent. Oh, it was great at the time. But yeah, this just never happened to me before. I was always like, oh, I wish I could always go back. I miss that time so bad. Yeah, but now I started to recognize that those two people who were in the relationship last year were just like no longer exist. I changed a lot, so much, and they probably did as well, right? So having this idea that this finally ended, and what I used to treat like a great deal was just 1 year of my life and 1 year of so many years that are coming forward. Yeah, like I guess I learned to chill down a little bit, you know? And it's a great feeling not wanting to be in a relationship all the time, because like even when I was single ever since my 20s, I've always wanted to be in a relationship, and I always wanted to kind of like find a way to be in a relationship. But for the first time, I'm actually focusing on myself and the idea that I'm building. Like I'm not outsourcing my need for validation or having the desire to care for someone, but like inward. I started to care more about myself more, which is, yeah. Like for the first time, I really started to focus on what I'm building and want this for like the best for me. I started to think like, oh, I just applied for another finance or law job, but I hope I don't get it, because to be frankly, like these sectors that I've been applying for, that I have been applying for, are kind of like not what I exactly want, but what I thought what others would want for me. Those that I thought what others would admire if I have it. It's a different change in my mind in the sense that I don't want this for me anymore, because I kind of get a better grasp of like what exactly I want by doing it and by taking risks to like actually do this. Lastly, life-wise, I started to wear less makeup, and I started to like think, you know what, it's fine not being perfect every time I go to a restaurant, every time I go to a networking event. I started to spend more on the real important things like sunscreen. This is my first time buying a sunscreen voluntarily. Like it was always my parents, it was always my mom who bought me like sunscreen, but this is my first time buying a sunscreen. And I started to like voluntarily wear face mask and like, you know, buy serums and so on. Yeah, so weird. I started to read books every single day. I started to keep my Duolingo streaks and journal every day. Like, I don't know, but I can't show you the details obviously, but like last year and 2 years ago, I haven't been very consistent with my like journal a day in my life, but for the first time I've been keeping streaks. Like I've been writing every single day. I have been meeting new people every weekend, and I kept like learning from them, observing them, see how like different types of people are out there. I've been going to like BBQ party, and then the next day I've been going to like a very different type of like party, and this is what I exactly envisioned to have in London. And I started to run. I only ran in a treadmill for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but now I run around like from 40 minutes to an hour in the city after work, or around Hampstead Heath, which is like pretty close to where I live. And running is actually great alongside Lime Bike. Yeah, like Lime Bike subscription, listening to music, and riding Lime Bike is just so great for my mental health. Running outside is something that I've never done in my life, and I don't know why, but I just suddenly like be like, let's go out and run. And then I start doing it. Like maybe a lot of things in life are like that. It's like you just don't think, you just don't plan, and just like one day go out with your sneakers and you start running. And same with the Lime Bike, right? I had no idea if I should be wearing a helmet, if I need a driver's license to like ride Lime Bike. Like I had no idea how Lime Bike worked, how to get it. But one day I was like, you know what? I have an Uber app. Let's try scanning it and let's try doing it. And if a police come like chase me after because I'm not wearing a helmet, like let's see how that happens. So yeah, this video has been all over the place. Things just been happening so quickly and suddenly that I did not have the right time to like catch up on my life by making this kind of videos. Let me know if you have similar experience of like all these events coming up to you simultaneously like a storm. So yeah, wish me luck. I'm gonna come up with my second video about this very soon.